But then
the way they
realize
react to people standing up for themselves and people speaking out, it says a lot.
Starting that is crazy about whiteness. It feels like it's immune to everything. You're blowing things out of proportion.
Even like on, I think it was on Tuesday, someone in the midst of all the outing of rapists and everything, someone really said that you need to notice that there's no white people on that list. And I was like, that doesn't mean that they're absolved from this. That doesn't. They are also predators. They are also victimizing us on campus and class and in raids. And just because none of them have been outed yet doesn't mean that they're not doing it. And I feel like it's, even for the noblest of things, they can't be there. They can't help.
I don't understand whiteness. It's just crazy. Every single time.
Oh, I hate it. I just realized.
Oh.
Hi guys. So, it's been an unfortunate week. It's been bad. And I just felt that as someone who's part of the defining team, who is part of this platform, who contributes to this and who helps contribute to all your lives in one way or another, I thought it was my responsibility to say something and also help create a safe space for a lot of people, help create a space where we can talk about what has been happening in South Africa, what has been happening to women for the longest time. And I feel like it's very unfortunate that it took this for there to be so much uproar about the situation, about how we're being victimized and the violence we face on a daily basis. And I asked Lindo to come and join me because it wouldn't help if I'm just here by myself creating an echo chamber, because then no one wins. And I know that you used to run an NGO that dealt with situations like this, and I think that having a more sound voice would help as well. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about the fact that, first of all, rest in peace to Nene. And I think it's tiring that every single week it has to be rest in peace to someone. We have to be retweeting to help find women and children. And honestly, it's not that hard, man. Just keep your hands to yourself. Stop. Just stop. Like, it's what goes through your mind for you to just wake up from wherever you are and go to a school and kidnap a 6-year-old? What goes through your mind when you see someone trying to pick up their parcel at your job, and instantly when you see them, the first thing you think is about yourself and how you can gain from them and what you can take from them? So when you see women, you see an ATM where you can withdraw whatever you want and you can keep taking and taking and taking. You have no regard for their lives, for the people that they live with, for the people that are waiting for them to come home. And you're there helping us look for people that are lost. And you're saying nothing. You're part of the problem, and you still want to come and say, oh no, hey guys, let's be better, gents. You know, we need to be better, we need to protect our women. But you know, you yourself, you're part of the issue. And I really just wanted to come and say that, you know, it's been a bad week for everyone, like a really, really bad week. It's a horrible way to start a new month, and it's been hard. Like personally for me, I haven't been able to function this week. Waking up and just knowing that you have to go outside, where you can't even say that you're safe in your bed in your home, because these men fetch us in our homes. And now you have to go out and you have to go to work and you have to go to class, and what's been shocking for me this week is that the world is just continuing. There's no standstill, nothing. People are still doing what they've been doing every single day. People are quiet. It's, why is this burden on the backs of women? That's my question. That it takes women having to tweet, check in on your friends, gents, for you to actually take initiative and check in on them. It takes other men saying that, you know, we need to protect our women, for you to believe that you need to protect your women. Why is that not the norm? Why do we have to fight to be treated like humans, to be safe in our own spaces? Honestly, there's nothing that I can think of that would make the pain go away, because like it's there. And the toughest thing for a lot of people I know this week has been that we've had to relive traumas that we thought we got past, to relive memories that we thought we suppressed in the most vivid way. And every single day you wake up, you check your phone, and there's someone else missing. There's someone else dead. There's someone else victimized. And it's like every single day you're just reliving it again and again and again and again. And I don't know. Like, I really don't know what it must come to for the world to take us seriously, for things to change. It's, I don't know. Like, I know, you know, yeah, it has literally been a week from hell, and I just, let me know how you guys have been. I know it's been rough. It's been difficult to even laugh at things, because the state of the world is constantly on your mind. I can't even send emojis because it feels wrong. It feels out of place. You can't even laugh at the things that normally make you laugh and be happy, because in the back of your mind there's this constant reminder that, you know, you might not make it home, or you might not make it to work. It's it's taxing. We're tired, exhausted.
Yeah, I'm angry. I'm angry for a lot of reasons. I'm angry that even the language that men use in the hopes of trying to solve the problem is saying we need to protect our women. I mean, that's already showing some level of entitlement that men have. You're saying that the partner that you're with is yours. I need to protect my woman. Or you could protect a woman who's in your life.
Also that thing where they constantly have to associate it to me, like it could be someone's sister, it could be your sister, it could be your mom. Why does it take that for you to start moving?
And I think it becomes difficult for me to not be despondent and to not resort to thinking that, you know, the violence must be responded to with violence. Because it's difficult for me to conceive that this is something that men teach themselves. That rape is something that's taught. Because I'm not sure how you can move from sitting in a gym and objectifying women, walking across the street and catcalling women, and then literally taking away the life of a woman from a conversation that you guys have with one another. For how long have you been talking to men? I mean, you come out of a woman's womb. Does your mother have to literally teach you, do not rape people?
That's the thing.
Is that something that we must do now? What is it that's in men? It makes me think at times that men are inherently problematic.
Clearly, there's a flaw in the genetic code of men because nowhere that
Why?
is really an issue. Because the way they're socialized, I feel like that is also the way their fathers speak to them and say, oh no, she's playing hard to get. If she says yes on the first go, then she's easy. The language that they use with their sons when they speak about us is things like that that's teaching them the way that they speak to their wives in front of their sons. And it's like you can't be telling a 6-year-old boy that, oh yeah, no, your mom and I are fighting because your mom won't submit to me.
Because I think saying it's socialization for me says it's something that we can sit down and undo. And in South Africa, how many campaigns have we had around this issue? You're sitting in life orientation classes, you're talking about it. There's all sorts of campaigns constantly. And what kind of teaching can we do for men to understand that this is wrong? And beyond saying that it's wrong, because even that statement is incorrect, because they know that it's wrong. How do you stop them from doing
exactly what they're doing?
Because I think that's the mistake. Men know it's wrong. So how do we stop them? I don't think you can teach someone how to stop raping someone. And I'm at the position, I'm like, respond to violence with violence. That's it. I think we've had all the conversations that we can have. And we've started all the NGOs possible. We've done everything we can. And mind you, everything rests on the victim. Everything rests on women to teach. We have to teach. Don't drink. Don't go out.
Don't go to their houses. Don't get in strange cars.
You go and you report your case. The burden of proving that you're raped is still on you. You have to explain where we were.
Treat you when you get there. Oh, why were you drunk in the first place? Does that even make sense that we have to basically live in a box? I can't go anywhere. Men keep saying, oh no, maybe if you weren't wearing such a skimpy outfit. But children are getting raped, and that makes no sense when you say that. You keep saying that, oh no, maybe you shouldn't go out drinking with men if you don't want to get raped. How about you just don't see a woman in the club and feel entitled to her? How about that? Keep saying that, oh no, just go report your crime so when we get to the police station, the police won't believe us. When they do get arrested, after months or even years of trying, then they get out on bail or a docket gets lost. Every excuse under the sun for the responsibility to fall on women and other victims and never on the actual person committing the crime.
No, they protect them also. Men who are rapists get protected with the idea that if you let them out, for instance, someone is going to kill you. So we're going to put you in safety so that we can protect them. You put them in safe havens. You don't out them as your friends. We are concerned about the perpetrator more than we are about the victims of these men's
his life
crimes.
Might be ruined. He won't be able to move forward. What about the person he harmed? How are they supposed to move forward with their lives? How are they supposed to get past it? The scars of that don't go away. You remember that, it stays with you forever. Forever. The fact that men can openly say that, I don't want daughters, I only want sons. Because then, God forbid, my daughters have to deal with men. They know they're scared because they're scared of their daughters meeting men like them.
No, and the thing is, men know how other men behave. I can't tell you how many conversations, and I understand that my father's coming from a good place. He will tell me on many occasions, he's had to stop now because he could see that I'm not going to change. But he's had to tell me that I know what men do to women like you. Women who are outspoken, who are strong, who go wherever they want to go, who have all the money that they want to have. I've seen what men do to women like you. Men know how other men behave. That's why they're so scared. This isn't something that we experience alone. They know what other men are like.
They're scared of the men themselves. Yeah. They're well aware of it.
And so I just, the conversation of saying that it's something that they learn from where? And how are we supposed to begin to unlearn it? And saying that men must talk to each other. I can't trust a man to go talk to another man about
They're
this.
talking to each other in group chats now. In the group chats with the same people that were outed, and it's not changing.
All they'll say is, a man's wild. It's wild what's happening.
Oh, hectic. That's
Can't
crazy.
believe it. Even him.
Wow. Really? I've also realized I've seen quite a few men on that list that I know, and who I know that they are still currently friends with. Like, and no, like I said, openly renounce your friends. Don't just be silent and then when I ask you in person, you're like, oh yeah, no, I haven't spoken to him since then. Okay, fine. But how am I supposed to know that you actually saw what he did and you were aware and you did nothing about that? You did nothing to show people that you're actually appalled by the actions of your friends. And I don't mean in a performative way. I mean genuinely. Actually genuinely being disgusted with your friends and not letting it die down and telling them to lay low and then, oh no, you know, in a month or two again, you guys are at groups together, you guys are kiki together.
How do men call out each other when the man himself knows what he's doing? And mind you, men think there's hierarchies of sexual assault.
Yeah.
They think, oh no, but I'm not as bad as the other one. Like back in the day, bruh, I used to say those girls are hot, but I've stopped that now. Back in the day, I used to grope mang and mang, but I stopped that now. But it's not like and we can say with confidence, I'm not a rapist.
Honestly, it's equivalent. I'm not racist, but
so you can't even expect men. You know, the problem is it's a catch-22. Men only listen to men. But you can't expect men to go tell other men to stop.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because they don't. The most that they'll do is, and in actual fact, I was having a conversation with some young men today, that they'll say, I'll actually only call out men when there's other women around. If there's other women around, I'll call out the men. But when it's just us, in fact, men will come back to women and say, I was actually in a cringy conversation.
Imagine, I wasn't there. Why didn't you do something about it while you were there with that person? You were there, you were listening to the person saying the cringy things, and you kept quiet. Now I must carry the weight of what's on your shoulders because you have guilt that you didn't stand up.
Because it doesn't affect them. Even saying they have guilt is a lie. Men don't feel guilty. Men have been told that this thing is wrong. Now they're going through the motions of what it sounds like to be non-problematic without actually being non-problematic. It's enough just to use certain key words. But they'll still go back and sit with the friends. They'll still go back and themselves be hitting on women, sit on Instagrams and forward the picture of this woman's bums. Some men literally have Instagram just so they can sit and look at women. Take screenshots, put it on a group, send emojis and talk about what they would do.
It's like they're just literally there scrolling, shopping, seeing, watching, and it's tiring. It's tiring. During the week, a male friend of mine texted me, and he's like, I know that you're not in a good place right now with everything that's happening. And then he continued to ask me, what can be done to remedy the situation? And I'm like, when you're in a conversation and you can see that the person you're speaking to clearly isn't really paying attention to what is happening, and they're speaking for the sake of there being words, so that it's not silent. And I told them, there's nothing women can do to change this.
There's absolutely nothing women can do to make herself.
Rianda saw Winene at the post office and he decided that that's it, cool. I've decided to kill her. What was Nene supposed to do in that situation? Nothing. There's nothing that we can do as women, as the people who are victimized, to fix men, to fix the situation, to change things. I can tell my friends, don't be rapists, but they're still out here openly celebrating Cristiano Ronaldo. Even after I have explicitly told you that this man is a rapist.
No, men want proof. Men want definitive proof. You're telling me R. Kelly has sex tapes with children. And no, but he hasn't been arrested. He hasn't been charged. Like, we don't know what we must say to you.
Just because you want to step in the name of love at your wedding. Like, I've told this man, there have been countless articles, it's been on the news. We know that Ronaldo's guilty, and you still want to come and justify and talk about, oh no, but he's a great player. So, clearly in this case, the Venn diagram for great players and rapists is a circle. They're not mutually exclusive, and just because he's amazing and you like him really doesn't take away from the fact that he's a disgusting human. He admitted to doing it, and he's still there.
Men can compartmentalize these issues. Men can compartmentalize having someone being a rapist but an artist, so they can say, I can watch Cristiano Ronaldo and he'd be a good player, and I can minus the fact that he's a rapist from the conversation.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh no, but you can exist here by the soccer, by the soccer game, and that's it. When you go and be a rapist, I'm not there because
soccer has nothing to do with him having sex.
R. Kelly is making amazing music, sharp, but when he leaves the studio, it's okay. I'm listening to R. Kelly's studio version. Was he raping women in the studio? No. Okay, sharp. Moving on to the next. Chris Brown, an abuser. You guys know this. I said, no, it's fine. I mean, Rama forgave him, right? So it's okay. We can move on. We can go to the next thing. I understand why you guys keep revisiting Chris Brown doing this. He did his time, all this. You guys don't understand that.
And it's always in those moments when men want to bring up nuance. Men can be nuanced, excuse my French, as fuck when it comes to these issues.
But on a regular day.
Men all of a sudden now want to bring up the fact that no, but sometimes people are lying.
Intellectual capacity.
No, you need to consider the fact that perhaps this woman is disgruntled, and that's why now she's now shaming him in a certain kind of way. This guy is a good guy. Look at him in this instance.
Look at the system. Oh, he bought her a car.
The system, no. And the best one they like using, especially black men, the system likes attacking black men. So now we must stop having a conversation about the safety of women and now having a conversation about race. Because what's important to black men is race. And what's most important in the conversation about black people is actually black men. And the rest of us must get onto the bus and follow them to wherever they want to go. Our conversations must take a back seat to them. Because what's most important is black men.
We must be there for them. We must stand up for them in their causes. Or, protect your black kings. No. When it's the other way around, then there's no way. But let AK and Burna Boy tweet something at each other, then everyone is there all of a sudden. But you've been quiet.
Some of them even at this moment. And I'm not saying that you can't be part and parcel of the visuals. I'm not saying that you can't be supportive. But men are so incapable of being uncentered in a conversation that they want to be at the center, they want to talk, they want to sing, they want to lead the strikes, they want to organize things. They literally cannot. Men are incapable of listening, of letting women own their own bodies, of letting women own their own strikes, their own protests. No, they must be there, front and center.
And they don't even talk about the things that perpetuate this culture. Calling each other Abu Stokbruka. This thing that's happening at Kofi where it's like, oh, you bring this many girls and you get a bottle for free. It seems like all fun and games, before everything happens, but then they're gone after they lured all the women there.
No, it's also the same men who a man will say, you and me are friends, Chom, and then when it's time to go out, hey Noma, can you bring your hot friends? Can you bring your friends to the gathering? Men will literally request you to bring women that they know are your friends to now sacrifice them for what? For them to have a good time. Please bring hot women.
You being the go-between for your friends.
Yeah, men will push in that
circle.
position now. I must bring my friends to a sitting.
So now they come and they be your friend, and you're thinking, I can trust this person. Fine. Now all of a sudden down the line, I've been watching your friend. First of all, why?
It makes you wonder, am I really even your friend?
I'm
Because
okay,
you're
I'm not.
seeing
I'm the
someone
bridge.
as something that's a bridge between a transaction and
I'm the
actually
bridge.
want.
That's the thing. And it's appalling. Like, honestly, how does your brain work for that to be something that's normal? For you to, with your chest, call women stock. And that's okay. That's like normal things. You're just trading us like we're cards. Like, it's okay. Let's swap. Let's do this. Let's do that. The language you guys use when you speak about us in the group chat, it's like, oh, you know, this bitch, this slut, this whore. You guys,
The hands,
the
the babies,
I
the
hate
doggy.
the hands. I hate it. Please don't call me a hand. Do not. Don't talk to me like I'm a product on the shelf. Don't talk about other women to me. Like, don't tell me how Mang fits in her jeans. First of all, don't be looking. You know, if all the men could just, when they're walking, just look down. Don't even look. Don't look up. Nothing. Look down. Walk. Go to where you're going. Do what you need to do. Come back. Just don't look at anyone. This week I have been more aware than ever of men on the street. And you know, I normally just, I mind my business, I'm just walking, I don't really look at people, but today I found myself looking longer at men to make sure that is he moving towards me.
Yeah.
I saw this man on the phone on the street corner, he was standing there suspiciously long. And I was the only person on the road besides him. And I kept looking back to make sure that he wasn't walking towards me. He was actually staying there. And I have no way of knowing what he was saying on the phone and who he was speaking to. For all I know, there could be a car on the corner that I need to turn to. And as soon as I turn, I get snatched. For all I know, he's describing me to someone saying, oh no, she's wearing this and this and this. Look out for her, she's by herself. And it's just, even like, being aware of my body. I've struggled this week to get dressed because I'm just thinking, oh, my shoulders, oh, my chest, why am I wearing skinny jeans? It's, everyday things have been hard to do, and it's just, I never thought that, you know, the passing of someone I had never met would have such an impact on my well-being. Not just mentally, but physically as well. Like, I can feel my body hurts. I'm tired, I'm exhausted. I feel like I've been fighting. That's what it feels like. Like, my body literally feels like I was in a fight. I'm tired. And then you find your people talking about, oh no, we need to pray for the nation. And then, you know, we need to pray for what's happening. This is, you know, like, anyone can come at me, it's fine. I'm a Christian, I'm openly Christian, everyone knows this. I go to church, but even I am tired of my fellow Christians. I'm tired of how, you know, we're completely disregarding everything that's happening and thinking that, you know, if I pray. The apocalypse isn't going to happen now. The rapture isn't going to happen because Noma prayed while she was getting raped and God came to save her. That is not how it works. It's honestly not. And I am ashamed. I'm ashamed of us as a faith that we can still go to vigils and rallies and make it about us and make it about what we want to do in the moment and not actually going and listening and helping, doing things that are making a change. It's all great and amazing to pray. It totally is. It's great and it's awesome. But you're Jesus blanketing everyone. It's like, you know, no, God is real, God is there. But you're not doing anything about the fact that the person that you're speaking to just opened up to you about their trauma. Because now, you want to pray. You want to pray for them, and, you know, time heals all wounds, and it'll be okay. We'll get through it. No, guys, I need us to stop.
I had to ask my mother, where was God when a man was beating me because I refused to have sex with him?
Where? It's like our concept.
Where is God when that's happening? How am I supposed to? Please, God heals all wounds. God will strengthen you. Where is God when that's happening? Where are the women in the church when these things are happening? These are the same women in church who will tell you don't dress like this.
Thank you.
Who will tell you when you dress in a certain way, you are distracting the men when they're praying. Don't take out your shoulders. Don't show the back of your knees. You have to even give Christian hugs.
Leave room for Jesus.
Lest you awaken something in this man that he absolutely cannot control. I don't know, man.
It's honestly, I've realized that all of us are in some way, shape, or form perpetuating this patriarchal system. Your mom telling you to not wear that short skirt because men are looking, instead of letting you wear the short skirt because why are men looking in the first place? The women in church who are telling you to shush even though they know that the pastor's a predator and you've gone to them to go open up to them and they're telling you, no, but he's the pastor, he's respected. Don't, it's okay, it'll be fine, God will deal with him. Who are you to judge? Oh, that one.
But at the same time, you also remember that in as much as these women are saying problematic things to us in these churches, they're women too, and so they've also gone through these things with men. And so in some ways, they're actually trying to, in the best way they know how to, protect you. To say, look, I'm saying that don't wear that skirt, not because I think there's something wrong with you wearing the skirt. It's because I know there's something wrong with that guy. And how do I know that there's something wrong with that guy? Because he did something to me. And that's the other thing. Sometimes people say this on social media, how come men walk around and don't know rapists? I say, personally, I don't know anyone who's raped anyone. But women know so many victims. Women know so many survivors of these issues. We know so many perpetrators. But men can walk around saying, oh shucks, I didn't know that my friend did that. I didn't know that my father was like that.
No.
I didn't know that I was like that. Like, what do you mean you didn't know you were a rapist?
You were there when you were raping the person.
How do you mean you don't know that you are someone who does things to people non-consensually?
She said no, you're still trying, and then you want to turn around and say, oh, I didn't know that I was violating, I'm sorry.
You didn't see yourself trying to coerce someone into saying yes.
So you weren't there, it was just not your experience. You weren't aware that when that person was saying no, they meant no. You thought, oh no, maybe they were just playing hard to get and I just had to push a little bit more and.
That's nonsense. Men know.
They're very aware.
Men know. They know. They can feel it when they're doing it. Men know.
And even the apologies they've been given on social media. Men become the most eloquent people when they're trying to protect themselves. Like all this amazing, diplomatic language comes out. But in the moment, you couldn't be a diplomat. In the moment, you couldn't make a right decision. Because, you were going through some stuff and it was a rough time for you. We were drunk and it was a little bit hazy.
And I say to you, but why didn't you say something? Why don't more women come out and say things? And I say, you could quite literally die from coming out with these stories.
People are right now getting death threats
on
the timeline.
Do you know what happens when you hurt a man's feelings? Do you know what happens when you hurt men's feelings?
Ego.
You could quite literally die because you hurt a man. And we don't owe men our stories. I don't have to perform for you to believe that there's a problem. We don't have to sit around the table and every woman in South Africa must come and say, oh, me too. Oh, even me. In order for you to see that there's a problem. Why is it not enough for you to see one woman who violently dies at the hands of a man? Why must I come now and give you an entire story in order for you to believe that this could happen to just about anyone?
And the constant referral to, oh, it could be fake. It could be a false accusation. You're so fast to call it a false accusation and believe that, oh no, the woman is lying. But you can't believe us. So clearly you never had any intention of believing the person that came forward with their story. You had no intention of believing that the predator is a predator. So don't come and act like you're standing up for people's reputations or whatever just because you maybe encountered one false accusation.
Men want you to come bloodied, bruised, swollen, cut, in order for them to believe that you were raped. As if men don't negotiate that with you and sit there and go through a whole process to make sure that no one sees what they did to you.
And that's another thing. I realized that a lot of people fail to teach people what rape actually is, and that it could look like a lot of different things. Because we have this concept of, oh, you need to be bruised and beaten and near death, and there needs to be this and this and this, and we have this false idea of what it is to be raped, that there are people that are excluding themselves and not being able to say, you know what, I was a victim. You know what, I was raped. Simply because it doesn't show on the outside, or because they didn't report it, or because, we were both drunk and it was a bit of a gray area type of things. It's just...
I don't think that I don't think there's nothing we haven't taught men. They sit there with smartphones, they know.
They know exactly what they're doing.
So many people have gone out of their way, campaigns, movements, all sorts of... Men know that these things aren't clear-cut and gruesome. They know these things. You know why they know them? Because they walked in on their friend raping a drunk girl. They know it, they've seen it, they know.
I'll turn a blind eye. It's okay, it was that one time, right? I believe you, fine. And they keep it moving.
They know when they're sitting in the back of their friend's car, who'll pull up slowly and say, hey baby, and they're sitting in the back and laughing.
Or when they grab you on the street and you don't want to greet them back,
and
they hurl slurs at you.
Yes.
Like, you're a bitch anyway, you're not even that cute. These things, it's...
And you know what the woke friend will do? The feminist male friend, the one who's sitting as an ally in our groups, all he said likely was, hey, gents, relax.
That's it.
That's it.
But as soon as you walk away, we know you're still talking about us. We know that the friend that approached me is probably complaining and you're now feeding his ego. We know that is happening, and that's the thing. Men think that we also don't know what happens when they're alone in rooms. We know what conversations you guys are having. We know what you're saying about women. We see you on the timeline. Now all of a sudden everyone wants to retweet. And anti-gender-based violence tweets and everything. But oh no, last week we were talking about bitches and hoes. AKA Live Jive telling us that the money will get him out of the friend zone, and now this week he wants to tell us about, oh, he's scared to raise a daughter in this country because men like him are men in this country. Men know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what is going on, and also realize that there is no way for them to understand the pain that people who are affected by this are going through. And why we're just so emotionally burdened by something that shouldn't even be burdening us, because they refuse to understand.
And I think, this week I also thought about, imagine how much goes unsaid and unreported and untalked about when it comes to women who are poor, women who are homeless women on the streets who have access to absolutely nothing. Sex workers,
Yeah.
Women whose stories won't go untold. And this is not to say that all of a sudden we mustn't talk about Uyinen's story. But being in the particular positions that we are in, as women of certain class, means that it's likely that people will come to the rescue for my dead body faster than the women we absolutely don't even talk about because they're poor. Never mind how shit it is for poor people in this country. A poor woman in this country. What happens to them?
The crossroads of everything. It's just, it multiplies the pain, it multiplies the trauma. It's just, it makes everything so much heavier that you can't.
I mean, we barely have access to rape kits on this campus. Currently, if you go into this campus, there is no rape kit.
And
there are
want
no
to talk so fast
contraceptives.
about, oh,
there is no nothing. And
free
mind
healthcare
you,
provided on campus. Oh no, there's the campus clinic.
and this
go,
stuff doesn't
do this.
affect men. Maybe when it's time to now have sex with us, they'll start thinking about contraceptives.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, they
That's
don't
why
care.
there's birth control galore on campus. Because like if we keep people in school, you know, they won't drop out because they're not pregnant. But you know, the boys want to have sex because you know we all know race culture. We're all very aware of race culture. So let's create a space where students can have sex that won't lead to them having to drop out. But everything else is peripheral to that. It's just, oh no, it's on the side, doesn't directly affect us, so we can keep it moving, right? I don't think men will change if they want to change, but they don't, that's why they haven't yet.
I think we must force them to.
Everyone was so keen on conversion therapy. I feel like if we did that with men.
Okay, no.
Yes. I'm here for
I'm
it.
against conversion therapy because of what it's done to the queer community. I don't think we do that. However,
because they
perfectly
treated
fine
queer
with shooting
people.
them.
They treated
Beat
queer
them.
people like they were doing something wrong
Mm.
by not being heterosexual. And I feel like if men got that same kind of treatment, where they are actually doing something wrong, and they had to live through something as traumatizing as that, because I feel like it's also hard for them to understand because they can't fathom it in their heads. They
Can't
can't
fathom that there'll be consequences for their actions.
Thank you. They think that, oh no, it's the world, I can do whatever I want, let's keep it moving, you know, it's fine. It's okay, boys will be boys. They just, because of that, because they can't.
And there's no one, and the worst part is that no one you can go to. You want to call presidents to come have discussions, the presidents who are rapists. You want to call the cops to do something, the cops who are rapists. You want to call your father to protect you, your father who's probably raped someone. How are you supposed to call those people to do those things? And I think that they must see that there's literally, and we're not going to sit back down and march and be quiet and whatnot. If you're going to be violent towards me in particular, if a man ever tries to be violent towards me again in my life, it's happened once. I wasn't prepared for it. No woman ever is. Try me again.
Okay.
Rather I go to jail because gafana.
Let's all go.
It's
You
fine.
leave the world, I leave the world. Let's go.
It's fine.
Because clearly that's the only way.
Rather, like that girl was saying the other day, rather sifa silwa than sifa like doing nothing. It's fine. Rather let it be that I died fighting
I
you.
was thinking the same thing. But it's fine, come. Like,
It's fine.
Let there be violence from everywhere. Let's both die, let's go.
Violence must be responded to with violence. Me, I'm not going to sit down and talk with any man about anything. About what? Want me to negotiate my existence with me?
Even though you knew what you were doing.
What
now
must
all
I
of a
talk
sudden
about?
I must teach you.
What must I talk about?
It's rough.
Oh, there's nothing to talk about. I'm sorry. There's absolutely nothing to talk about. I've tried it before. You sit down with institutions. We bring in all sorts of stakeholders. The idea is to say, okay, here's the NPA, here's the health sector, here's the SAP, here is the university. Here are all these people that are involved in a particular case. Students come and they say, here's my problem. Here's where I don't have the information. Here's where I need you to do better. I I need to have contraceptives. I need to have more condoms. You need to have all of these things. We tell them, lecturers are harassing us. What do they do in turn? These institutions, either they do nothing or they protect these people. So now you want us to go back and have a discussion again. About what?
We've already done this. Shouldn't have to.
What do you want us to talk about? And mind you, look, not every single woman's story of rape will work out the same way. It's not some clear-cut painting like we were saying earlier. So a lot of women's stories, part of the problem is that I'll come and I tell you, either a year ago, this guy raped me, I was drunk, I can't remember, but I know that he did it. What does the law say to you? Well, you don't have enough evidence. Or say you're not even drunk. It's the two of you in a room. It's just the two of you though. You didn't go immediately. Perhaps you were too scared. Perhaps there's all sorts of reasons that could lead to you not wanting to go and say something. There were some women who are sitting there now and have discovered 10 years later, oh wow, in actual fact, that guy raped me. Can that woman go to the police station now to Officer Butelezi and say 10 years ago this guy raped me? The first thing that will come out of his mouth will be 10 years.
What have you been waiting for? Why didn't you come when it happened? This and the other. That.
And then your docket is sitting on piles and piles of other dockets. It gets lost miraculously.
Or the same officer that's taking your statement, he comes and he does the same thing. And it's just this continuous cycle. That's another thing I've realized this week, that so many of the stories that have been coming out, and just like everything has shown a lot of people that they actually have been victims and they just didn't realize it. Or it happened and they suppressed it because it hurt too much. But now they're realizing that actually what happened was, it was a very big deal. It was wrong, I was raped, I was molested, and it's just, imagine having to relive a traumatic memory from 10 years ago. You know how much progress that undoes? And it's just, therapy can't fix that. How does that go away now? Because we tried therapy already, we did that. Now it's 10 years later, here we are, back at square one, because men refuse to change, they refuse to listen.
You'll go to the institution, you'll tell them, the lecturer is standing in front of me now, harassed me. The guy that I have to see 4 times a week harassed me. They'll say, oh, okay, let's go sit around a table and talk about it.
For what?
Let's get you therapy.
For what is, this.
Girl, if you go and you complain, you must also, they'll say to you, we're obligated to tell you that if you complain, this guy might get expelled. They'll tell you with their mouth. They're saying, we're equipping you. The idea that I'm equipping you with all the information to make the right kind of decision. Then they'll go and give you therapy. And then you must sit down now, across from a table from this guy, and then mediate. And then you know what they'll do? They'll say, okay, we understand. In fact, we believe you. Our version of believing you is that we're moving from this department to that other one over there.
So you can go rape someone else there.
Yeah.
So you can go harass someone else in that department and you still do nothing. So what's going to happen is going to go through all the departments in this institution.
And mind you, he can move from one university to another. No one flags it in the system. That's what they do also. They move from one corporate company to the next. There's nothing that protects the next women that are going to be in that company, because the system that we have does not flag the fact that this person has done this in another place before. So you just have a bunch of people shifting around in different places, men who protect them.
Access to more people, to more victims.
Boys clubs run countries. You're in trouble, bruh. It's fine. Move from that company, come work for me this side. I have a position for you here.
They will create space for you to go thrive.
I think the scariest thing, like being in postgraduate studies also, is the fact that you can be harassed, and many, many women have been harassed by supervisors. And you cannot say anything because the way this boys club, the way it functions, is that this guy is a titan in his field. He's the guy of engineering, he's the guy of philosophy, he's the guy of medicine, whatever it is. Now, when you complain, you think he's not going to sit there and tell all his other buddies, don't work with that one. You think he's not going to blackball you everywhere you go? You think you're going to get funding after that?
Then you're stuck.
Then you're stuck.
You're
and you know you're
trapped.
stuck with him.
Because
And you know what
the
he's going
only
to do
person
to
that
you?
will work with
He's going to fail you.
He's going to show you that I rule you.
I'm going to show you. You
I
want to
make
report me?
rules.
I'll show you. So I'm only exposed to that kind of space. Imagine what happens in the corporate sector. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
They give you upward mobility. You just open your
You
doors.
tell black men to go complain, they'll say, yo, Brad, but I also have my job. If black men are serious about helping us, it cannot be that you're helping must also sustain your livelihood as well. Because when black women help each other, we are quite literally risking our livelihood. But black men aren't willing to do that. You're not at that point of anger. You're not at that point of literally walking around as an empty shell.
They're not outraged.
You're not outraged.
The
You're
lack
not
of
willing to
outrage.
put yourself on the line.
That's why things are just going on as normal right now. Like, people aren't upset enough. Men are not upset enough about what is happening in the world. They're not upset enough about what men are doing. And that is why we can still continue on like things are normal. You think, oh no, just buy a taser, here's some pepper spray, carry a knife. Honestly, it doesn't work. It doesn't. I've been victimized with the knife on me. So what do you say now? We're victimized by our friends. So you trust them, you leave your taser in your car. Or you leave it in your bag and you leave your bag somewhere. Protection, gone.
How many tasers did we have to have on him in order for
At the
that to
post
stop?
office.
Imagine I'm going to a post office, I'm doing something I normally do, a normalized everyday activity. I must be walking around with a taser. Because on my way there, something might happen. At the post office, something might happen. On my way back, something might happen. While I'm asleep in my room, some guy might walk in. You go to the bathroom, you can't go alone. You have to tell your friend, I'm going to the bathroom now. As friends now, we literally have to time each other. Look, okay, now I have to
You've
time
been
my friend's bathroom breaks. She can't go alone.
Men like making fun of, why do women go to bathroom in groups?
This is why.
You know,
This
there's
is-
nothing that could, like there are no words to even try and close this conversation, because this conversation is going to continue on. It's not going to go away. We've seen this. It's been years and years and years and years, and nothing is changing. And every time, oh, Women's Month, you know, you strike a woman, you strike a rock. It's like,
And I really hope it does continue, because you know what's going to happen in my fear? People are going to get tired of the hashtags. There's going to be a new story
It won't
about
be
my
trending
banner and
anymore.
whatever.
Yeah, thank
Something
you.
new that's funny and you're going to laugh at it. And then perhaps here and there someone will retweet or whatever. And in the meantime, when it dies down, the law is going to go after every single woman who went and spoke out about their trauma and say, defamation of character. And they're going to go after you, not as a group. They won't go after us as groups. It'll be you by yourself having to face the person that you are saying is a perpetrator and is now suing you. They won't do it now.
yeah, because now
They
it's
will
so
wait.
hot. They're laying low.
They will wait.
Let the heat
There are
die
women,
down.
this is how Rhodes, the RE reference to this thing happened. Those women fought, where they now suspended. She had like 2 more tests left in order for her to graduate.
Now
Suspended for 5 to 10
Yo.
years away from every institution. After what? After we got tired of the trend. And we're going to get tired of this trend.
Anymore. Yeah.
The women that you're seeing walking around Hatfield striking, we're going to get tired of the trend. Then this institution, the one that's claiming it's supporting you, is going to come after every single woman who are brave enough to stand up and lead these strikes. Brave enough to go and fetch these men from their houses. They're going to turn around and suspend them left, right, and center.
Future gone, because they stood up for people that were being harmed. But no one's future who was a perpetrator did anything. It's fine. They're still going to go become CEOs, you know, become doctors and lawyers and engineers, and it's going to be amazing, and they're going to just keep on moving up and progressing. And
women's lives are going to be stagnant just because they spoke up, just because they said something. It's horrible. And in the midst of things dying down, we know that all the cancelled people, they're going to be slipping back into society. All their friends that openly renounced them are going to be welcoming them back with open arms. It's going to be like, oh no, it was normal, it's nice, it's okay.
As if it's possible to ruin a man's life.
It's just...
You say you're ruining my reputation. What reputation?
How? Your clout. Your
What
access to the
reputation?
club. They're not going to say anything and because their friends are the people that get them on the guest list that gets them access to the girls that they want to victimize. So, obviously, they're not going to say anything. So, yeah. I just want... Dennis had something to say, and he wanted to just say it before we end this live. And as I said, this conversation, it doesn't end. I hope you don't get tired of speaking out. I hope you don't get tired of fetching these men. I hope you don't get tired of justice. I hope so, because 2-3 months down the line we can't be forgetting, and then it's December and then there's an epidemic again. I hope not. I hope not.
Now I fight them. Rather Sifasi, fight them. Every single last one of them, fight them. That's my position on it. Fight them. Call me when you're ready to fight. There's nothing for me to talk about. Fight them. Violence must be responded to with violence. I don't know why we must wait for the moment when you are seeing signs of someone being problematic, that you must wait for them to be violent in order for you to do something. When you are seeing your friend, there's always red flags, always. And the way to deal with these red flags is not to sit there and be like, hey bruh, don't say that.
Thank you.
Fight them. The same way that they fight to climb on top of you, fight them. Rather ufa like
Once,
fight them.
also, I just wanted to say that anyone who needs someone to talk to, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychologist, but I know the value of having someone to talk to, someone to confide in, someone to vent to. My DMs are open. I know the struggle of being the only woman in the room and not having anyone to relate to because you're the only woman. So yeah, my DMs are open and it's completely confidential. What happens in there will stay in there. What you speak about will stay in there. So yeah, I just wanted to extend that because I know that some of us this week might not have had friends checking in on us. And it has been rough having to nurse yourself. So I'm here for you guys. And just DM me on Instagram or on Twitter and I will respond, I promise.
It's weird how both of them left as soon as I was supposed to get into the frame. But I think first things first, thank you so much for Lindokuhle and Noma, for opening up the conversation and being on Defining and just sharing their story and their perspectives. I think it was incredibly important. And I need everybody back home to understand that, at Defining, we don't support gender-based violence, and we're going to be rolling out different types of content regarding this as well. So this was the first step, with just being able to hear their perspectives. And I know in the comments, people have been saying, what are the solutions? What are we going to do? And I know a lot of you have also been saying how women are part of the problem. And I think the point of this conversation was just hearing their experiences, and then from there, you'll see there'll be a follow-up conversation with myself and the gents as well, and we're going to be also speaking about it from our perspective. I did see a TED talk that was quite eye-opening prior to, coming to the live, and it spoke about how a lot of the times when people think about race, they think, black people, people of color, and it's the same with when people think about gender-based violence. They think about it only from a woman perspective, and they think that it's a woman problem essentially. Just like how we see with a lot of the race things, it's a black people problem, and that is incorrect, because especially regarding these gender-based, violence problems, it's based on us men, and we need to do something about it. So we will be having further conversations, and we'll try and keep you guys in the loop. Please do comment, and I know Noma will be checking the comments. There's the definers mail as well. If you don't want to slide into the into DMs, Noma has access to the defined mail. It's definersmail@gmail.com. So, and yeah, this was just the first part, and there's going to be more. We don't support what's been happening in the country. We've been saddened, and it sucks. And I think, especially those who are close to people who are traumatized or who are feeling a certain ways, you may not be knowing how exactly to reach out or to quote unquote check in, but I do think that it's still something that everybody should do. So please be aware of those in your circles, those that you are close to, and reach out and don't project, especially the gents, don't project at them, but just say that you are there if they want to have a conversation, or they would like to express how they see things and where and how they see change, and how they want things to progress. Just allow them to speak. That's what we need to be doing right now. Allow them to speak, listen, and take accountability. And that's definitely going to be the next conversation. So thank you again to the two ladies for sharing, and we'll keep the live. And please, to all the definers that are not in a good space and are traumatized, sorry doesn't help, doesn't take it away, but we do reach out to you, and we are thinking of you. In times like these, there's a lot of wrong things that can be said. There's a lot of wrong things that can be said, but at the same time, there's no perfect thing. But still, we need to all say something. So yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video.